Sunshine, yeah, moonlight, good times again.
Welcome to the Blame It on the Boogie podcast. We just three brothers tonight, all from the boogie, come to talk to you about something we love, and that's sports. As always, we have with us my boy Antoine DOOZE Williams from Florissant, Missouri.
We back.
We got the one and only Dorian D Almighty, the Wonder Mouse Brown from Richmond, California. And you got me, Rod D, right here from the Detroit, Michigan. We want to thank you for joining with us tonight. As always, if you haven't done so already, press that like button, subscribe button, the follow button, send dudes the money. And if you got any questions or comments, you just want to get back with us, you can always send us a message right here at that email address, boogieblaming@gmail.com. Dorian made that up.
No, I did not. I hate that. Yes.
You can also follow us on all social media. We go by the handle @From the Boogie on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Or you can go find us on our website, biotbpodcast.com. That is BIOTB podcast. In other words, Blame It on the Boogie podcast.com.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Don't you hate when you clean your glasses and then you put them on and you realize you really didn't clean your glasses?
And if you need anything, just call Rodney at
779311.
Just if you need anything, call Rodney and he'll get it over there to you.
I get you. I got you.
He'll gladly pay you Tuesday.
So we gonna try some stuff different, y'all.
For Impossible Burger today.
I'm swearing them things.
He don't want no more Impossible Burgers. He don't want no more Impossible Burgers.
They can't deal with Impossible Burgers.
See, usually we spend 45 minutes to an hour just getting our topics ready. But during the time that we're getting the topics ready, we talk about all the stuff, and y'all miss a whole lot of good content. So we're gonna start just putting stuff up as we go along,
giving y'all that raw, uncut.
Raw and uncut.
Never enough.
So we just gonna talk, y'all. We just gonna talk. We do have a couple of things that we started doing. We said, you know what? Let's just do it this way. So the first thing that we started talking about was Orenthal James Simpson passed us away.
May he rest in peace.
Now,
may he finally get some peace.
May the man finally get some peace. This is it's one of those things. Well, first off, OJ was truly one of my childhood heroes.
All of ours.
His brother was great. As a football player, he was amazing.
He was everything back then.
He was amazing. You think the stuff that Barry Sanders was doing was great. OJ was doing it before Barry. Now Barry came and improved it. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But OJ was out there doing it before Barry.
Him running through the airports on Hertz commercials.
The greatest, one of the best product spokesman ever. The Hertz commercial running through the airport was just a thing of beauty. Everybody wanted to do that. And again, back in the day, that's what you would do. You do the OJ jumping over the luggage in the middle of the hallway or whatever.
Got LeRon arm broke.
Yeah.
Got LeRon arm broke.
Yeah, trying to be OJ.
Shout out to LeRon. Hey, hello.
LeRon Stover. Hello.
But wonderful. The Naked Gun series. Just absolutely wonderful, man. when he was
Oh,
going
man,
down the hill in the wheelchair. It's great, man. It's just great. But then, of course, you can't talk about OJ without mentioning the tragedy of his wife. Now, you can believe what you want. Ex-wife. You can believe what you want.
And Ronald Goldman, we can't leave out.
And Ron Goldman. I mean, it's tragedy what happened to them. They were stabbed to death on Nicole Brown Simpson's front porch. OJ went to trial for this case.
If the glove don't fit,
the prosecution put on a 9-month case to convict OJ.
Johnny Cochran.
And this is where the story gets very, very interesting because
must we talk about the whole story? I thought we was just giving homage to OJ. Why we gotta talk about the drug trial? Do we? What we need to rehash that as if the people watching us don't know what happened with OJ?
What I wanted to get to, let's get to that part.
Let's get to it.
What setup?
I thought he was going to talk about the fact that they had the police chasing the Bronco during the Knicks
playoff game, man. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Finals. The NBA finals.
It was
trying to get Pastor. They interrupted the Knicks against the Rockets news.
Get to it, Pastor.
He's long-winded.
Interrupted the Knicks and the Rockets. But actually, that wasn't what I was going to talk about. But since dude brought it up.
And look, I remember I was on duty over in Korea. And I was like, well, at least I'm on duty, but at least I get to watch this game on TV.
Man,
and then it got interrupted.
Man, that was when
all you saw was a car driving down the freeway.
Summer at U of I. Me and Dre, shout out to Dre, was roommates that summer. We were sitting up watching the game, and that's when it had. We was like, wait a minute, what is this? What's going on?
Man, I was on 24-hour staff duty. I had to sit there and monitor the phones for 24 hours. I was like, well, at least we got this little color TV. We could watch the basketball game.
I was at home. I got sick. I had a bladder infection, and it made me. I got so sick. My mother had to take me to the hospital. So I'm in the hospital bed with the TV remote. Like, okay, cool. At least I can watch the game. And they interrupted the game to show this freaking white Bronco drive 20 miles an hour on I-10 in Los Angeles.
Right. Rodney was like the manager in Major League in there in the hospital bed. Throw him the heater, Rick. Throw him the heater.
I was pissed. But not so
in more ways than one.
But I wasn't. That's the problem. I wasn't peeing.
So were you or were you not?
Do we have to? Must we talk about your waste release on this podcast?
But
how do we end up talking about you and not being able to pee? Can we get back to giving homage to OJ and just saying R.I.P.
I'm trying to give
one of our
the
early heroes.
I'm giving them the full picture,
I'm
man.
pretty sure that you could pee fine now. So.
All I'm gonna say is OJ was on my 4th birthday cake. It was, and this was before the screen printing. So somebody just drew some ugly black fish.
A number 32.
They drew some little ugly black football figure with the number 32.
They drew a guy that looked like Michael Cooper.
Right.
Drew somebody that looked like Michael Cooper from the Lakers.
Right. It looked like one of Tecmo Bowl characters.
It just went OJ.
No, they just put 32. You were supposed to know it was OJ.
Hey,
so yeah.
But anyway, all the stuff went down again.
Yeah,
whether you believe in what happened or not, it doesn't really matter at this point.
Man.
Just let the man rest, man. Let him rest.
May rest in peace, man.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest. So,
OJ,
Juice.
Again, the condolences goes to the family because at the end of the day, they did lose a father. They lost a brother. So to all the families, So anyway, we'll leave that alone. The next topic we're going to talk about.
Rodney start telling us some more urination stories.
Hey, we can go back to the origin of this.
No, we don't. That's my point.
We can go back to the origin.
We don't want to hear about it.
Matter of fact, Susie, tell your son.
No more.
Tell your son, Susie. Man, we still got beef. We still got beef.
Now I'm interested. How did you get? How did Susie's sons give you a bladder infection?
So, all right, since dudes want to know.
I'm sorry, America.
Listen here. I'm doing my friend duty, running interference.
Can we get to the point?
I'm running interference for my boy. Right?
I'm scared.
Right?
I'm running interference. Where this is going.
So, we go, Susie has a son at this time, right? So it's my job to keep the son occupied. He's like 1.5, 2 years old, while my boy, go and
what? Just tell what you ain't even have to go through all that. Just
so anyway,
they did to you. That's all he want to know. You ain't gotta go through the rest. Don't nobody care about the rest of that. Just tell them what happened.
About the baby.
They don't need to know.
The world wants to know why I got beef with Susie's son.
But okay, well, you ain't gotta go through all that. Just tell what the baby did. You ain't gotta go through the whole story.
You gotta have the details, man.
No, I want to hear all that. What happened?
So anyway, I'm out here.
He kicked him in the ding-ding.
Kicked me in the dick.
And then he kicked him in the ding-ding.
And then with some hard white, them hard bottom shoes.
With the white shoes with the wood on the bottom.
With the wood shoes, man. The wood bottoms. The wood bottoms. And when I say
that's before the red bottoms, the wood bottoms.
When I say stuff swole up the size of grapefruits, look at here. All because of Susie's son.
Now he's smuggling grapes.
That America is not
now he's smuggling grapes.
So hey, we still got beef. We still got beef.
All right.
So anyway,
moving on.
We can move on now. We can move on now.
Let us move on.
We're gonna talk about the WNBA draft, which is very interesting. Let me get to the list. So the first pick wasn't a surprise at all. And that was the what is it? Indiana, what is their name? Indiana Fever. Indiana Fever selecting Caitlin Clark with the number 1 pick. Followed by Cameron Brink, the power forward from Stanford. She went second to where'd she go to? Oh, I can't see this thing. Who'd she go to, D?
I'm trying to see the list. Because I don't recognize the logo because it's so small.
I can't. It's so tiny. I can't see it. These wonderful glasses that I have is not working.
No, it's
is it LA? Yes, LA.
Let me zoom.
It's LA.
Oh, it is. That is an LA. I see it now. The LA Spark.
The palm tree.
Okay, I can't see the palm tree, but I can barely make out the L and the A.
I had to blow it all the way up.
I just need to make it bigger.
Yeah, I made it all the way up.
And then Cardozo went to the
Chicago
Sky. Rickea Jackson went to
LA again.
Then Detroit Wings got JC Sheldon from Ohio State.
They're not Detroit Wings.
They are.
No, Detroit. We gave away our
the Dallas Wings. Sorry,
WNBA. Yeah,
It's Dallas.
And then DC got Aaliyah Edwards.
Yep, and then Chicago came back and got Angel Reese. Then Alyssa Peely. They got her at small forward, but she played big.
Yeah, she played.
Dallas got a player. Then 2 French players went to Dallas and to Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Marquisha
Liberty,
Davis,
my New York Liberty.
Marquisha Davis out of Ole Miss, and then a player from Australia.
You can pronounce the name, D?
I'm not doing the right.
I was waiting. I wasn't going to attempt it.
I'm not doing the right.
But the
let's see if
you trying to let Google pronounce the name.
No. I clicked on it to see if they would pull up the pronunciation.
Nayadu.
But no, they don't. I'm not.
I would even try that last name.
I was going to say, I'm afraid that Rodney gonna try to do a last name.
I wasn't gonna do it. I wasn't gonna do it.
So
what? Pooch.
You know what that might turn out.
Pooch.
Poochie.
Popsicle.
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 So this is the thing about the WNBA draft.
Go ahead.
Regardless, I don't think necessarily because of the way that the WNBA plays, right? Mm-hmm. I think that this is going to be a crazy combination with Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, right? Because I think it's funny because a lot of people, a lot of the, I think for me, I feel like a lot of the Caitlin hate came from a lot of people who really don't watch.
Yeah, I think so too.
Women's college basketball, right? And they only watched the Final Four because it really became this big spectacle this year. Honestly, it was, again. So as somebody who has really honestly watched college basketball for a while, it still played like old school basketball, very fundamentally sound, a little bit below the rim for the most part, that kind of thing. And so the skill set that she brings, doesn't necessarily mean that she would have fit with any particular team. She fits very well with Aaliyah Boston. And man, because again, the WNBA still plays get the ball into the low post. Right? Now, my only thing with getting with Chicago, getting Cardozo and getting Angel Reese is that what is their guard play like?
Yeah,
well, the thing
they're low post heavy. Low post players that don't play outside at all. Really, Reese doesn't really play out there.
Yeah, both of them, they're on the block. Angel Reese she's not going out past 10 feet, and Cardozo either. But
I have to get it together. Cardozo can.
But not really, man. I mean,
you wouldn't want her to. Though.
She can, but that's not the WNBA game. The WNBA game still enables them to be down low and get stuff down low. They play inside out. They still play that way. They're not playing the modern NBA, but that's what Caitlin Clark brings. Again, you have people like Arike Ogunbowale and other people that can hoop like that. Rickea Jackson, coming from Tennessee is a hooper like that. Flau'jae is a hooper like that. Our girl from South Carolina. Dudes, you know who I'm talking about.
Fuwale.
Fuwale. Yeah, Fuwale. Yeah, Malaysia Fuwale. Now you start to see the women play like that.
But you know what? What kind of surprised me? Caitlin Clark played at a fast pace.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Iowa. Yeah, they played at a fast pace.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is she's bringing that kind of game to the WNBA. She really is. I mean, you've had women who were skilled. Candace Parker. Oh my God, I still say Candace Parker is the most skilled woman to play the game. Even with Breonna Stewart and so on and so forth. But I feel like now the WNBA is trying to get to that getting up and down the court game, getting up and down the court. And because that's like the men's game, the fast pace that people want to see, because they want to see them get up and fast break and all that kind of stuff. Where that's not really the women's game quite yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
Oh, yes, it's definitely getting there.
So I'm trying to answer D question. Kayla Cooper, she scored 18.7 points a game, and she is she's the guard. Go back. This is for the Chicago Sky. She scored 18.7 points, 4.4 rebounds, 2 assists. She shot 45 from the field and 40 from 3. So she's pretty good with that. And the other guard is Marina Mabry. She averaged 15, 3.7, 3.6. She shot 41 from the field, 39 from 3. And then they had one more guard, Courtney Williams. She averaged 10 points. Oh, you know what? No, she's not a guard. She's a forward. No, she is a guard. 5'8". Wow. She's 5'8". She averaged 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 6.3 assists. Shot 44 from the field, 44 from 3. So I mean, they got a pretty good point production. As you look at their rest of their roster, they didn't get production from their inside.
They got that now.
Well, see, I was just wondering because they won the championship a couple of years ago.
But they had Candace Parker.
It's been Vegas the last couple of years, but the last year Candace Parker was there.
Yeah,
and they kind of broke that team up.
Yeah.
Because what's her name? Vander.
Atlanta Deladon.
Yeah, she left. Now Atlanta Deladon played in DC.
Yeah, she went to the Knicks. The Knicks. See the Liberty.
She needs to go to the Knicks.
To the Liberty.
Oh, wow.
She'd always been in Washington.
In that Deladon that went to the Liberty? Maybe not.
I didn't know she went to the Liberty. I know Breonna Stewart went to the Liberty.
That's Breonna Stewart that went to the.
I thought Atlanta Deladon was still in Washington, unless she went somewhere. I could be wrong. I like her game.
Still there for the Mystics.
Yeah. So,
but it's going to make for a very interesting WNBA season, with Vegas bringing back pretty much their whole entire roster from last year. You got the Liberty, who was a finalist, improving this year also, and you also have Chicago and the biggest ticket, which the price, and I told y'all we should have gotten Fever tickets before the draft. After the draft, the ticket prices went up 200%.
Well, we're pretty sure you can find us some tickets.
First time ever, the Fever sold out their season tickets. Which is, I mean, it's a come on, man, y'all gotta hit these shots. Which is a testament to the popularity of the WNBA team. And getting back to what D was talking about, the hate that Caitlin Clark was getting. I heard a lot of people saying, well, she's not going to be able to do things that she did in college.
I heard that too. I didn't like hearing that either.
These are pro women, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But the girl is skilled, man.
Yeah.
Her skills translate to the next level.
Yeah, and skills is the overall, measuring stick. Her skills. I mean, when Michael Jordan came into the league, he came in as a college player playing against pros, and Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. I mean, it was always, star college players coming to the pros and
coming to the pros.
Some took over. Yeah.
And then also too, like, now that I'm listening to, these podcasts, or at least snippets of these podcasts of these players from back in the day, KG, Paul Pierce, they was playing against some of the pros. So if you don't think they ain't been playing, Clayton Clark hasn't been on these USA teams, hasn't been playing with, Diana Taurasi, the likes of Diana Taurasi's and the Sue Birds for a long time. They know, everybody knows she can play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this ain't no overnight thing that just happened.
Right.
Mhm.
Now, what's interestingly enough, I wonder how, and this is for our salary cap guru and trade guru to find out about how WNBA free agency works and so on and so forth. And when you're eligible for that, and if they do, you know, kind of the sliding scale, the way that the NBA, everybody started to do with rookie salaries. And I think because I'm looking at the highest paid WNBA players, and Jackie Young is from the Las Vegas Aces is making $252 a year. It looks like they have short contracts. Said Caitlin Clark is set to start her career. She's set to make $76,000. So I guess they have a sliding scale. You can only get paid so much.
So yeah, they have max players just like the NBA. And they have a rookie salary cap, just like the NBA. So for Caitlin, her salary over the next 4 years combined is going to be $338,000. But again, Caitlin didn't really care about that.
She's gonna get money off endorsements.
Yeah, she's gonna way more than that.
But I think
when they're comparing that, for instance, Caitlin, the number one pick, 4 years, $338,000. But then when you look at Wembanyama, his contract for the next 4 years is over $55 million. So there's a disparity. Good.
Okay. Yes, there's a disparity. But when you look at what's the word I want? How do I want to put this? Well, let me just say this. The idea that they should be paid equally doesn't work.
It doesn't.
Yeah, you can't pay them with what you don't have and what you're not making.
You can't pay them what you don't have, but you also can't pay them what you can't make.
Exactly. In totality.
So the WNBA at this point, okay, is not going to get a $10 billion TV deal. To be able to pay those ladies the way that the NBA pays these men. Even if you look at the how whatever it is, and again, I'm sure Rodney knows this or has figured it out. What the equivalent is, or how to make it, you know, what the equivalent is of what the WNBA can max versus, you know, the NBA. You know what I'm saying? In order to look at what's the percentage, because doesn't the NBA at a certain point supplement some of the WNBA?
Most of
it. So that's one. Secondly, so that means that basically what the men are making is going towards supplementing and supporting the WNBA.
Well, so
I think also, well, hold on. So
good.
So also another thing I think people fail to realize is that the WNBA, they only play 30 games. They only play during the summer. So many of them leave and go play in other places, in women's leagues over in Europe or whatever, where they actually play a full schedule during the actual basketball season. Hence why Brittany Griner got caught up, because she was playing over in Russia. So the money that they make over here is really for a much shorter period of time. If you want that, where they're playing 30 games instead of the men playing 82. So it's going to get to the point where hopefully this is leading the popularity of the game now, is leading to the point where, one, they'll expand the schedule. So they'll play more games and will enable them to, generate more revenue and so on and so forth for themselves. So I'm hoping that's the way that this is going at this particular point. So
yeah, I think just like the NBA did with, remember how they were struggling before Magic and Bird came, and then they increased the popularity, and they went from tape delayed games to live telecasts, and
right.
The players started making more money. I think Magic made that, what was it, 25 million?
Yeah, $1 million
a year for 25 years. And everything just increased from that point on, due to the increased viewership from those two players. And then of course we know what happened when Michael Jordan came, and everything just took off. So
right.
Hopefully with the new rookies coming in, that the WNBA can follow that trajectory, and it could go ahead and take off with these people. But it has to be a starting point, for the league,
right.
and this could be possibly the starting point.
Yeah, I really honestly don't think culturally, from a cultural standpoint, I really don't think people, even particularly young people, but I don't really think that they honestly understand the cultural impact that Jordan had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what Jordan really did for the NBA.
Basketball. Yeah.
Jordan is the one that made it a quote global game.
Mm-hmm.
People wanted to see him play. He made it a go. He made the Europeans want to come over here to play.
Exactly.
He really did that, and I don't think people understand.
Exactly. I think Magic and Bird blew it up stateside, and then Jordan took it to the next level globally. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. That's why the NBA has always tried to. That's why the NBA is the only game, the only sport where they ever talk about who is going to be the face of the NBA.
Mm-hmm. The face of the league. Yep.
Nobody else talks about that.
Well, so they talk about it now because of how great it was, the great it worked for the NBA. Right.
Mm-hmm.
They want who's going to be the face of baseball, Bryce Harper and what's my man in Anaheim, Michael Trout. Now it's Shohei. They talk about that. Football, they want the next face of football. Is it I don't even know who you need to put out there for football, because there's so many. Well, Pat Mahomes might be. Hell, it might be Travis Kelce.
Pat Mahomes. I would say Pat Mahomes, but shoot, because of Taylor Swift.
That's what I'm saying. It might be Travis Kelce.
Yeah, he might have surpassed him.
But in basketball, like you said, they're always looking for that next face. Like right now, the next face, beginning of the season, it was all about Luka. Now at the end of the season is
Anthony
Edwards, right? So
and of course Wembyama.
And of course Wemby. But Caitlin is if we'll put it like this, if the WNBA Players Association is smart in any way, they're going to try to take this phenomenon that is Caitlin Clark and blow it up
wave,
and blow it up like Mike did. I mean, of course you're not gonna get but Caitlin travels, man. These people come from thousands of miles away to go watch her play a basketball game, right?
And then you have the younger generation of girls. They've been watching her, and parents bringing them, and
I want to be like
granddaughter. Yeah, and they're watching them.
Like
so that helps, for future.
Right. So Nike has gotten into the game and is giving her the first signature shoe. She's getting her own signature shoe. So it's
she's not the first member Cheryl Swoops had.
Cheryl Swoops had hers, yeah.
Not out of college. She didn't get a signature shoe. Right out of college.
They didn't have
right out of college.
Right out of college, they're giving her a signature before she played any games. They're giving her a signature shoe because they know the popularity. Man, listen.
Oh yeah.
When you look at, like I said, the ticket prices for the Indiana Fever, you used to be able to buy a ticket in the lower bowl for $70. Now it's over $350. Just because she got drafted, right? The income, the revenue, and that's the thing is, even with that, it's still not enough. because the NBA is supplementing. That's what you're talking about, D. It's gonna be it's gonna be.
Yeah, it'll be a while.
I would love for the pays to be equal, but it's gonna be a long time, a lot of building for the WNBA to get to that point. Because even with paying them, her a max contract of $80,000, the WNBA is still losing tens of millions of dollars each year, right? So, but the money's not coming from the NBA players, it's coming from the NBA owners. They're the owners are the ones that are supplementing.
Many of them own the teams, don't they?
Yeah,
they own those teams. But again, the thing about it is,
enough, it's a tax write-off.
Right, that's what I'm about to say. It's one of those things where, I'm going to invest in this, but if it loses money, it's going to make me money because now I can write off even more money from my other ventures that are making money. So they're not. Trust me, they're not doing this stuff out of the kindness of their heart. They can care less.
It's the reason they're billionaires.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, they all started off with money.
Yeah, most of them did.
Yeah. So. But anyway,
But anyway, but again, the WNBA, the games start next month.
I'm hoping I can take Sadia to some WNBA games.
Bro, we drive right down to Indiana.
Who's gonna have to take Aubrey?
Yeah, we got to go down there.
Right down to Indianapolis. We can get the same Airbnb we got for the Pacers. And go. Speaking of which, that's the other issue that the WNBA has, because they are playing at NBA stadiums, but you're only getting 4,000 and 5,000 people in a 25,000 seat stadium.
Yeah.
So, and the NBA owners pretty much own those stadiums,
and they write it off.
They're not giving them discount on leasing the stadium out. They're charging you the full price, the highest price they can, to make it look like they're losing money, so that I can't write this junk off. So man, they ain't dumb,
right? By any means, no. But yeah, so, but I think at a certain point, they're going to have to build smaller arenas for the WNBA, because honestly, a part of if you think about, like, okay, let's talk about the Final Four is something different. And if you look at some of these college arenas where they play women's basketball, when they try to play in the big arenas, it don't look right. But when they play in the smaller arenas, where, man, it's a lot of crowd noise, it's a lot of that kind of thing. So I think that they that's one of the things that they also need for the WNBA. What is it? What
would be perfect.
Perception is 90% of reality.
Yep.
So if I'm looking at these women playing in a 20-seat arena, but they're only getting 7,000 people, 8,000 people, 10,000 at the most, well, it looks like ain't nobody going.
Just half the stadium empty.
Because half the stadium is empty. So if you get them a smaller arena that seats 10,000, something like that, still make it state of the art. It won't cost you as much, but you still build it so you can get that kind of atmosphere that you're looking for. Why not think about doing that? That's something that they could do. Take over.
And for the owners, you build a second stadium that's half the size of your current stadium. So now you can get more revenue, because those concerts that was coming to the big stadium, you can get more people smaller concerts, the ones that can't fill that 20,000 seat stadium. Now you got these smaller stadiums, so build revenue off that. So make it work, man. Make it work.
And then also, of course, being on social media, you see all these casual sports fans, or not, I wouldn't even call them sports fans, complaining about the disparity, between the pay with the NBA and the WNBA. If you really care, support the WNBA. Go to the game. Because I think about that when I'm reading all the comments, and I'm like, I bet none of these people have ever been to a WNBA game. Support. I even been to a couple WNBA games. When I was in the DC, Virginia area. Saw Shamika Holdsclaw. At the MCI Center.
When there was one in Detroit, we would go.
Yeah, man, Isaiah, we would go, whatever. Now, also, to be totally honest, the military would give us free tickets. But I digress. But I went and I supported. I mean,
hey, you bought.
Isaiah had to eat hot dogs, and Isaiah had to eat the $20 hot dogs and the popcorn for 35.
Right, so you support it, right?
You bought the food.
I still support it.
Hey,
And I was there. We wanted to see it.
but yeah, I say that every time my kids be like, "Oh, they closed down such and such a store." I wonder why. I was like, "When's the last time you went there?"
Exactly.
When's the last time you went there?
Right.
Well, it's been a while. Exactly. Everybody's saying the same stuff. It's been a while. That's why they're going.
Right.
It's y'all not going. So
right.
if you don't support them by financially by going to a game, don't complain about the rest of the stuff.
And then if you don't want to support them that way, just send us the money and we'll take it.
And we'll go. Right.
Get the money to us and we'll get it to them.
We'll support on your behalf.
We'll go support for you.
Right.
You know, I won't mind going to a Las Vegas Aces game. Hook a brother up.
Man.
Hook a brother up. All right. Another topic that just happened today. The NCAA changes their transfer rules. Now a player can transfer as many times as he wants and be eligible to play upon enrolling in a new school. But now the caveat is he has to meet certain thresholds as far as his grades are concerned. So now you can transfer, and it's basically what it goes to is it was a trade-off for those the ones that leave think the players that think they're one and done, but realize after they get to school they're not one and done.
They're not done.
And have to go to school that second year. But what they do is they transfer so that they can get eligibility that second year. But now that they're putting a little clamp on that, you can transfer, but you have to reach certain educational thresholds. And if you don't reach those, then you're not eligible. So I think it's a step in the right direction. If you're gonna, you don't want people just transferring, but never actually getting the education that they actually went there to go get. Doran, you look upset.
Rather
No,
perplexed.
well, it's turning into college football free agency.
Okay.
And
basketball.
And to be honest with you, I'm still a bit of a traditionalist when it comes to that kind of thing, right? And I think that because being an alum, for example, being an alum of Illinois, you get all these players. I remember going to the games or whatever, going to watch Dana, and all of them. Shout out to Dane. Going to watch them play, and if every year, and because of the fact that I knew Dana and I got a chance to hang out all the time, with the football players up at U of I, it would have been crazy if every year it's a bunch of new dudes coming in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I was literally hanging out with them almost every day. I was hanging out. So with a new crop of cats, coming in every single year, it just kind of, for me, takes away kind of from that experience as being a student or whatever, that every year I got to follow, my college team the way that I follow my pro team every year, looking at, who's coming into the transfer portal, who's transferring out, who's doing all this kind of stuff. And at least in and I think I'm about to, and I know he about to get me on this, because I see the look on his face. Because what I was about to say is that at least in the pros, they have contracts where they have to stay.
What was about 4 episodes ago? 4 episodes ago, we talked about this.
I saw the look on his face. I saw the look on his face, and I said, "Damn,
he got me."
That's right. That's right. They should have contracts.
I said he got me. Damn.
Breaking news: Rodney has just won.
I won. You what?
Rodney has won. I say again, Rodney has won.
But at the same time, I ain't mad at him. Get your money. NIL has done that. Go get your money. But again, as an alum, that's how it makes me feel.
These are traditions.
I saw the look on Rodney's face.
I'm sitting here like, yes,
it's like watching the pitcher wind up and get ready to throw. Rodney's on there.
So at any point, look, at any point in what you were saying, did you look at him and think about trying to backpedal out of it?
I did. I was like, I said, damn, I can't get out of this one now, though. I'm too deep in it. I gotta go.
I stepped back, so I smiled like,
I know. I saw you. That's what I saw. That's what I saw you do. You was up front and you sat back like, I said, hey, yeah. I got you now, boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just goes in line with the NIL rules. So it gives them, it's okay for you to transfer. We can't stop you from transferring. But if you are going to transfer, I mean, you got to have these academic thresholds, on your transcript. You got to at least get 80% of your credits. Have that 2.5 grade point average or whatever it is. Actually, I think it's a 2.0. But man, been still dealing with this cough, man, for over a month. But anyway,
Rodney's so mad, so happy he won. He choked up.
He choked up, man. But
I have to give one. I have to give one of these to myself.
He took an L.
I gotta get one of those to myself.
Man, you took an L live on air too.
Man.
Live
And
on
I can feel myself opening the door and just walking right into it too. Like,
I can't get away from this. I can't get away from this. I said, I messed up. But speaking of messed up,
Rodney was like Bill Dukes in Minister Society. You know you done fucked up, don't you?
Say it again, D. Say it again, D. Say it, D.
You know you done fucked up, don't you?
You talking about Jontay Porter?
And could be.
Could be. So, last week, the last time we talked about Jontay Porter being suspended from playing the games. They wouldn't get a lot of games. He wasn't suspended at that time.
Here's Jontay Porter's basketball career.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So, real quick recap: Jontay Porter was held out of games because there was some suspicious activity going on in Vegas around his play. There was some unusually large bets being placed on Jontay Porter's stats to for points, rebounds, assists, so on and so forth. So come to find out, in January there was a bet placed. There were several bets placed where they won like $90,000, and then that's when the bookies, sports books saw that someone was very irregular here. So it was one of those things where, okay, you fooled me once. So then in March rather, the same type of stuff happened, but this time there was an $80,000 bet that if paid out would win the bettor $1.1 million. So, and the bet was on Jontay Porter to get under on all of his stats, under his average on all his stats. So what did happen? Jontay Porter started the game because he has to play in the game in order for the stats to count. Played in the game, but then took himself out because he said he was sick. So upon hearing this, the sports book they took a page out of George Bush's page, his book. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, nah, you ain't gonna fool me twice.
No, yeah.
So that's when they went to the NBA and they informed them, hey, there's some irregularities going on.
No, you still messed
So
up.
how did he let him know he was sick?
No, that's what he did.
Did he just go
Oh,
up
you
to him
was
and
actually
say,
quoting Bush. Okay.
I'm quoting Bush.
Okay.
yeah, how did he let him know he was sick? Did he just go up and say, "Oh my, I think I have become sick"? All of a sudden, I must sit down.
I need to go home.
He went up there.
I must sit down now.
But
Some bad acting.
yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible acting. So come to find out, after the NBA did their investigation, it wasn't just these 2 times that he was betting. He actually bet 19 times on NBA games. One of which was a game involving his Toronto Raptors. In that particular game, he didn't play. He did play, but he bet that they would lose. He bet that his own team would lose. And to show you how bad of a gambler he is.
I guess you would know, huh?
But to show you how bad of a gambler he is, the Toronto Raptors actually won that game. So he lost.
I hate my teammates. I hate you suckers.
So he profited $21,000 on after all of his bets, right?
Less than 10% of his salary, actual salary.
But the last bet, the $80,000 bet, he told his boy, "Hey man, I'm feeling a little sick. I might not play today." And his boy, this is my imagination. I don't have no proof.
Which one was the one when he came out and said his eye was hurt?
But that was the first game. My eye hurt. I can't see.
Oh, my eye. But they rolled back the tape and he didn't have any injuries with his eye at all.
Who knows, man? But the second, he told his boy that he was feeling sick, so his boy bet the under $80,000, knowing that he wasn't gonna play. As much. He went out there and played, but because he felt sick, he took himself out the game.
I have suddenly become ill.
They won the bet. His boy bet the $80,000. Not him. His boy bet the $80,000 and won the bet. But
me.
The bookie's like, nah, bro. We know what y'all doing.
That's your man.
We gonna keep your $80,000 and we ain't paying you jack.
Right. Now they said it like this: we gonna keep your $80,000 and we ain't paying you jack. That's what he told us.
What is he doing? Is he killing over there?
No, man, I gotta get some more water.
He had to run to the toilet.
I just said we gonna keep your $80,000.
No, I did like this, right? We gonna keep your $80,000. We ain't give you and not give you nothing. And he said, okay.
Mm-hmm. I won.
What Richard Pryor said, the gangsters, the mafia, they appeal to your common sense.
Uh-huh.
You do realize it is very difficult to walk without knees.
I do.
Yes, yeah, I believe you're correct.
But then we laugh about this. But the thing about it, it's a serious thing that he did, because one, you do not want to mess with the integrity of the game.
Yeah, you compromise the integrity of the game.
When you compromise the integrity of the game, man, and it's not just you. When you mess up the game, you mess it up for everybody.
Well, people are already, again, let's think about our whole Caitlin Clark conversation. Mm-hmm. How many people were swearing up and down that they fixed the game. Oh, you don't make that call right there. They made that call because they want her to win. Woo, 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 woo. How many? Oh my God, how many people said that? And now all of a sudden you get somebody who's actually doing that in the game. So you're not doing anything but feeding that beast. And so that's why when I tell people, man, you can't get into that. You know, these conspiracies about, oh, you can't make that call right there, or they doing that because they want so and so to win. It's like, come on, well, why are you still watching the games then? If everything is so damn fixed, why are you still watching?
And
you know, but it's these prop bets, man. That's the thing. It's one thing to bet a team to win or lose, and again, dumb betting on your own team, right? But it's the fact that you can bet on you can have somebody bet on you. You can manipulate it. Now, in a sense, you're also you're manipulating the outcome of the game, but it's different. In this way, you're not deliberately manipulating the outcome of the game, so to speak. That's tangential to what you're doing. You're just really, as an individual, you're just not playing up to your capability, or you're just trying to win the bet. But while doing that, you're compromising the integrity of the game. You're throwing the game. You see what I'm saying? It's different.
The game is off its natural flow.
Doing the same thing, right? But man, it's like,
so. All right,
but you can see it coming. Come on, ESPN has a whole channel called ESPN Bet. Come on, you can see it coming. These prop bets are crazy.
So let me ask you this, D. Let me ask you this, because this is the other thing that happened that kind of made me laugh, and they made a joke out of it. Oh, it's just cute. Boban Bogdanovic. Is that his name? No, Boban. What's his last name? Moranovic?
Bobanovic.
Bobanovic. Okay, whatever Boban's name is. Boban is an international star.
Yes.
In all the commercials, just this lovable 7'3" guy, 900 pounds. Boban went to the line. Bojanovic. Boban went to the line with they were winning by like 9 points or whatever in a meaningless game. It was the last game of the season that didn't mean anything to anybody because both teams were out of the playoffs. But Boban went to the line and intentionally missed 2 free throws. So it was cute because they had a Chick-fil-A had a thing going on where if a player from the opposing team misses 2 free throws, the whole audience gets Chick-fil-A, right? So it's a promotion for them. So it was cute. Boban, he playing to the crowd and intentionally missed these 2 free throws, right? Which was cute. But here's the thing. He also changed the over-under on that game. So people that could have won that game lost because he missed those 2 free throws. Right? Again, it's a meaningless game.
Okay, but
it's a cute little game. But he caused people to lose money because he intentionally went up there and missed 2 free throws.
Okay, well, guess what? It's called gambling. That's a gambling that he gonna get his big ass up there and miss 2 free throws for the crowd. Again, it's something different. He wasn't doing that to influence the outcome of the game. He wasn't doing that to influence him winning a bet. He did that for a lot of people. So,
I'm not saying Boban did anything wrong.
No. I'm not. I got you. But what I'm saying is that whether or not it deals with gambling, that ain't got nothing to do with what's going on. So now you can't start associating the two things. Like now they're playing the game for the gamblers. That's Vegas's fault. That's a gamble. That's what's called a gamble. You made a line and that's the line that you set, and that ended up happening. But hey, it's the same way that how somebody ain't gonna get hurt in the game, and then that ends up influencing the outcome of the game. This particular one is one of those same type of circumstances.
It just became very sticky when these leagues got in bed with the gambling.
Oh man, Man, very much so.
And we understand the reason they did it was for the money, but now you're seeing the ramifications of, making
Man,
a decision.
Have you ever watched that video? Didn't I send it to y'all?
Which one?
It's an old video, man. Is it Dateline that talked about like gambling and the mafia in the NFL way back in the day, and how the former owner of the Rams, they had found him dead. It's
Yeah. I saw that.
You saw
yeah.
Send that to me.
Yeah, I have to find it and send it because Tiba was the one that shout out to my shipper Tiba.
I was watching the one about the
he and Elizabeth, they had a baby girl today.
Congrats, teams.
Shout out to my shipper.
Congrats, Elizabeth.
Yeah, right. Tiba didn't do nothing. He was just standing there. Wait.
Hey, Tiba put it in there, man. It could have came out if he didn't put it in there. But so shout out to Tiba too. But also I was watching remember the NCAA the point shaving scandal?
Mm-hmm.
I was watching that must have been about a year ago.
You talking about with Villanova?
Yeah, way back in the day. I was like, wow, man, that was very interesting too.
D was telling me about how Donahue got caught. D, tell the people how Donahue got caught.
Yeah, D.
So my understanding of what happened with Donahue was that Donahue wasn't himself betting on like the games that he reffed.
Mm-hmm.
He was betting on the games of other people that he knew, like when he knew certain referees didn't like Allen Iverson, he would bet against Philly because as you know, they worked together and so on and so forth. So he knew the relationships and he knew that they would make bad calls, you know, that he might it was a possibility that Iverson could get kicked out of the game. Again, I'm using, you know, AI as an example. And so he was winning and he happened to tell one of his boys, and then his boy started gambling. And when his boy started doing it, that's when the bookies in him was like, hey, wait a minute, how you winning? Mm-hmm. So they kind of, you know, forced him. That's how he ended up getting in with everybody. He was never actually betting on the games that he was doing. That was just his method of gambling, was because he had that kind of inside information. So then he started getting used for his inside, and that's how he got in trouble.
Yeah, what's going on with the Knicks, Fred?
Joel Embiid,
because they never found any evidence
right now
that of him actually betting on any of the games that he did. Because I watched that 60 Minutes, I believe it was something like that, where they talked to him.
Scores tied up or what?
92-94 Knicks. Joel Embiid has about 55. It seemed like, I think he got 30 something, but
so the Knicks up.
Yeah, they keep giving him beat, man.
Yeah,
he gets.
My phone says 94, 94.
Every it's tied up now.
Yeah. You know, we got Roddy over here talking about the Knicks. So, but the Porter family and themselves having a bad week.
They taking major L's this week.
So
is that how you spell his name, Rod? You know, you have an issue with your spelling.
That is how you spell his name.
Okay.
JONTAY Porter was suspended, banned for life from the NBA on Tuesday. On Thursday, Michael Porter Jr. and JONTAY Porter's youngest brother, CORBON, who was a forward for the University of Denver, 19 years old, had too much to drink and killed a young lady in Denver. And he was sentenced to 6 years in prison for the drunk driving accident. So, and on Friday, Michael Porter, who had a game against the who they played, the Lakers, on Saturday, he was in a courtroom on Friday So I'm sorry, I misspoke. Corbin Porter got sentenced on Friday, not Thursday. Got sentenced on Friday. Anyway, on Friday, Porter, who was supposed to be at practice, wasn't at practice, but was in the courtroom with his youngest brother as a character witness, trying to get the judge to give him a leaner sentence. Which, it's a lot to put on Michael Porter. He's dealing with the fact that, my one brother, is on trial for this murder, this Twitter 4 run by the Sixers, but for this murder. But my other brother was stupid and bet on basketball. And I got a game against the Lakers on Saturday. So there's a lot of pressure for this brother. Also, what we didn't mention about JONTAY, that's just the NBA's their penalty. But he is facing some serious penalties from the feds for that illegal gambling.
Well, yeah.
So the Porter family is dealing with quite a bit this last week.
And like you said in the text, Michael Porter Jr. was going to either be a beast or the least, and he had a real good game one.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to give him his break. And
channel that energy.
So after the game, he can't. Anyway, he after the game, he did an interview and was talking about how his teammates, when they were there for him, they're supporting him. They whenever he had to leave, they would would support him or what have you. Because at the end of the day, I mean, it's to them, it's just a job. Mm-hmm. Right? To us, it's a whole lot more. Like, I'm living and dying by every second of this stupid game right here.
1 point game.
Kyle Lowry is just the devil right now. But for them, for players like Michael Porter and all these players in the NBA, that's their livelihood. It's their job, right? So for them to they just like us, they got issues,
right?
They have family issues,
problems. Yeah, families always cause you problems. So it's good that the Denver players rallied behind him, supported him as much as they did, got his mind off of the struggles he was going through so that he could perform on his job.
Yeah, because that had to be a huge distraction for him.
Oh, for sure.
And tremendous amount of stress.
That's a heavy burden to be carrying.
Exactly, to be carrying that burden.
Right. Because I think it wouldn't be such a hard burden to bear. Again, I say that if they were just regular people, but he's gonna come in and before the game, pregame interviews, they're gonna ask him about it. Mm-hmm. Then after the game is over, they're gonna ask him about it. Even if he hadn't played a good game, they were gonna. If he had a bad game, it's because of this. If he had a good game, he was able to focus, and so either way, that's going to be the question. So, were you thinking about your brothers today when you were on the court? Were you able to channel that energy? And that's the kind of questions he was going to get.
Exactly, and when you're really trying to use it as like 2 hours to like clear your mind and
right.
kind of relax your mind and focus on your job or whatever. And
right.
You can't really even do that because that's what everybody else's focus is.
Right.
And and it's no fault of his, but that's
right.
We talk about it all the time.
Created for him. Brothers.
We amongst ourselves, we talk about it all the time. How we got the worst news we've ever heard, when we lost Donovan
about a drunk driver
by a drunk driver, ironically. But when we left, when we got the news, we all got in the car and he immediately went to go get that little boy down at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're gonna be a little boy.
Yeah, you was kind of little boy.
Y'all
was still the same. I think y'all was still the same height.
You was a little boy at that time. But we had as much as we were struggling with losing Dime, we had probably the best run we've ever had. Now afterwards, you know, we went back to morning or whatever. But during that little time period, I don't know how long it was. It felt like a whole afternoon because we never lost. We wasn't leaving that court. Them fellas had they didn't know what was hitting them at that particular time.
Right. On our way, that's funny. On our way out of Champaign, that court on Springfield, and we just saw people hooping.
And I don't even know if we had gym clothes, man. Let's just go hoop.
Well, we always have gym clothes.
We always had them.
We always got a backpack. If we not wearing it,
if we wasn't wearing it, we always had something.
A pair of shorts under my pants. So, yeah.
We just always wear shorts under the pants.
Just got out and started hooping.
Just got out and started hooping, man. But that was the greatest run ever. But we were able to channel all of that emotion and have, you know, a wonderful afternoon of playing basketball. And instead of, well, you know, to a certain extent, something similar to what Michael Porter was able to do, you know, all of this family troubles that he has. And mind you, it's all, even though those problems were self-created by his brothers, right? It wasn't like something happened to them. They did all of this to themselves.
Yes.
And to others. But at the same time, that's your people, them your boys. That's your family. So you're gonna hurt just like they did. So for him to channel that come on, Knicks. Oh my bad. For him to channel that you know, channel that emotion and play like he did, man, you got to give him props. Yeah. But let's move on from that topic. I'm getting very frustrated with these Knicks right now. Jalen Brunson is 7-26. Come on, Brunson.
Yeah.
Shots.
They're losing by 4.
And they can't stop shooting freaking threes.
But they figured
down by 1 and we shooting threes. Anyway.
That's the nature of the game.
That's what the game is now, right?
And apparently they're about to hit. Philadelphia's about to hit a 3. The dude just said they down by 4.
Oh, sorry.
And it must be that dude right there. Oh, I hate him. Oh, I hate him.
Who?
Freaking Tyrese Maxey.
Look at the look on his face. He's in pain.
All right, let's go to the next topic. And
Cards suck. Moving right along.
Right. Is there really anything to talk about? The Reds in third place.
Move right along.
In baseball, the Cardinals suck. Okay,
next slide, please. The next slide, please.
Is it really kind of anything exciting going on? The thing is, the Major League Baseball season is so long.
So that was the thing. I was calculating it, right? It's only 12% of the season that's completed right now, right? Baseball to me, again, I'm a huge Cardinal fan, but baseball to me does not get interesting until July. It just doesn't. Around July 4th, All-Star break, that's when, you know, I start actually paying more attention to the game. Well, how far up or how far down are the Cardinals? Right now, these last couple of years, they've been down.
Going downer.
You know, the only bad part about this is that them stupid Cincinnati Reds are above my Cardinals.
Yeah.
That's the bad part about all of that.
Yep, we are 3 games up on the Cardinals. We over 500, but the Brewers are 14-7
with the second best record in the league, man.
Yeah, but shoot, the Yankees 15-8, so they're even with Baltimore in the AL East.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland is 16-6.
Yeah, Cleveland's the one that's balling.
Atlanta is balling too. They 15-6.
Man, Jalen Brunson cannot hit jack.
The NL West is The Dodgers only 13-11, but I guess, you know, that'll change again because of the fact that the Major League Baseball season is such a long season. So it's it's really nothing. Like you said, it's really kind of nothing to talk about at this point.
Not at all.
I don't
Again,
think has it been any no hitters or anything of record?
It was one no hitter. It was no hitter. But again, we have to reiterate the fact that my Cardinals still suck right now. Next topic.
Next slide, please.
Next topic. This is Durham topic.
The NHL. So I started watching. Maybe I'm starting to be like Stimmons. I only watch the NHL when the playoffs come up. Shout out to my boy.
Baseball.
So I was watching the Winnipeg, Colorado game the other day. That was 7-6. Like the most goals Winnipeg has ever scored. I was watching that game. That was kind of a crazy game. I mean, when do you literally get 13 goals in a hockey game, right? And then before I turned to watching the Knicks blow this game, I was watching the Bruins. The Bruins were playing the Maple Leafs, and last I looked, the Maple Leafs were beating them. But then now this game, Vegas is playing Dallas, and Vegas was up 1-0 last I looked. But the thing I wanted to talk about was actually not necessarily the games in themselves. I can get to some more of the games a little bit later because their playoffs just started like the NBA playoffs did. But their playoff format is interesting. So people have been complaining about the NBA format for a long time, right? Saying they should just have an overall seed and then seed them so that instead of keeping it just the 8 teams in the East always have to come out. It always has to be 8 teams from the East and then 8 teams from the West. And sometimes you get they came up with the playoff tournament, the play-in tournament, to make more interesting the fact that the worst teams oftentimes were getting into the playoffs as the 8th seed. Mm-hmm. Right? That's why they did that. So the NHL format is interesting. So this is what they do. They said 16 teams, just like the NBA, qualify for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Says the format is a set bracket that is largely division-based with wild cards. The top 3 teams in each division will make up the first 12 teams in the playoffs. Says the remaining 4 spots will be filled by the next 2 highest placed finishers in each conference based on regular season record and regardless of division. So it is possible for one division in each conference to send 5 teams to the postseason while the other sends just 3.
Okay.
Says home ice advantage through the first 2 rounds goes to the team that placed higher in the regular season standings. Each of the 4 rounds is the best of 7. It says in the first round, the division winner with the best record in each conference will be matched against the wild card team with the lesser record. So the wild card team with the better record will play the other division winner. It says the teams finishing 2nd and 3rd in each division will meet within the bracket headed by their respective division winners. So what would be interesting for us to do?
What's that?
Is to go back and seed the NBA the way that they seed the NHL and see what the matchups would have ended up being.
Okay.
How would it ended up?
We might have to try that, and that could be something we talk about for next week.
All right, we'll get that. We'll talk about that next week.
All right.
Next down 2 with 27 seconds.
I don't know. I can't see, bro. They down a lot on my screen.
With 13 seconds left.
They down a lot on my screen.
They all sitting there looking real sad.
Freaking Jalen Brunson, man, bro. You can't get to the playoffs and then stop shooting. Stop scoring. I mean,
I gotta say, yeah, he's shooting. Man. He's taking 29 shots.
He ain't stopped shooting. He just ain't making
29. He gets some shots up there now. Pulling an Ant Turner today.
Ooh, he finally hit the 3. I mean, he took a lot of shots.
It barely bounced in.
I didn't realize he took that many shots.
Well, I mean, he has to with Randall out. He wasn't taking as many like when Randall was there, but he kind of had to pick up the load. And he's playing well.
Man! Oh wow! What a freaking shot! Oh, wow.
The Knicks are up 102, 101.
Wow. Rodney must be behind.
Okay, I just saw that shot. But after 4 missed shots,
Man,
Who was that?
they
That
let
big?
them boys play.
Steven
but they down on the ground. Ah,
I know Spike's going crazy.
man. That's DiVincenzo's he been horrible too.
Kyle Lowry. They done hurt Kyle Lowry.
Man, Embiid has 34, Maxey has 35.
Man. Well, again, you got to think about it, right? People was thinking Embiid wasn't going to play. Like Stephen A. Knicks in 5. Knicks in 5. Now Embiid came out there and Embiid is balling.
So that's what Dante put in that text message talking about the Knicks gonna sweep. I'm like, look, bro. I said, first off, this is the NBA, and all the players in the NBA can play. They're there for a reason. You can't say that. Anything can happen in the playoffs. And we barely squeaked that game out the other day with a gimpy Embiid. And today, shoot, man.
Well, I think too we done got off our topic. Yeah. But I think too that Philly is not your average 7 seed. With if Embiid doesn't get hurt, Philly is what, the 2 seed, probably the 2 or the 3 seed.
You think they're gonna? Well, yeah, they would have been ahead of the Knicks.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So who else would be because what the Knicks are the
Knicks are the 2 seed.
Celtics are the 1 seed. The Knicks are the 2 seed. Who's the 3 seed?
Milwaukee.
Right. So Philly, with a healthy Embiid, Philly is probably a 3 seed.
How you let him go on the court like that?
For Philly, this is not your average 7 seed playing.
Man,
exactly. What's wrong, right?
How you let Maxey go right to the goal like that?
He blocked it though.
He did block it, but bruh, you can't let him go. You can't let him do that, man.
He's fast. He's like D. He's fast.
See what us?
D, you still fast like that?
Got us watching the end of the game.
You still fast like that, D?
Man, the way my groin is set up.
What do you say? No. The guy said on Friday, you want some of this old man?
No. No. Shoot, we was talking about. Let's go ahead. You know what? Let's just go ahead and finish talking about basketball. Since we started talking about basketball.
Talk about these first round games.
Talking about these first round playoffs. So going back to what D was saying, Boston's 1, Knicks are 2. Ooh, wow. They actually won this game.
They got it.
Anyway, Boston's 1, Knicks are 2. The Milwaukee Bucks are 3. The Cleveland Cavs are 4. Cleveland's playing Orlando, right? Yeah, Cleveland playing Orlando. Yeah. They're 5. Indiana 6. Philly 7, and Chicago. Because Chicago beat Miami, didn't they? No, Miami.
No, Miami
played Boston.
Yeah, Miami played Boston.
So the first round, right now the Knicks are up 2-0 on Philly. How I don't know, but we gonna take it. Boston is up, Milwaukee's up, and Cleveland is up 2. I think they won both. They won that game tonight too, didn't they?
Yeah, they were winning. So I'm pretty sure.
Score. Cleveland is up
2-0.
Yeah, they won 96-86. So the West, the far everybody, all home teams have won. We got another game tonight. Who else playing tonight? The Lakers and the Nuggets.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
In West, I think all the home teams have won in the West too, right?
Yeah, I think all the home teams won except, isn't it one somebody that lost?
Let's see, playoffs.
Okay.
In the playoffs, you have
Nope, all the top seeds won.
All the home teams.
Yeah, the Clippers got the home court in the Mavs series.
But let's be honest. Let's also be honest about this too, though. Mm-hmm. As long as we've been watching the NBA, when has the 1-8 matchup or the 2-7 matchup really been that compelling?
Well, it's more 2-7s than 1-8s. There's been quite a few 2-7s that won, but it's, I mean, you can count the 1-8s on one hand.
The best series, the best initial series are always the 4-5 and the 3-6 because they're the teams they're usually the teams that are closest as far as record and so on and so forth is concerned. So I'm not necessarily surprised. I'm surprised that. Well, let's just say because of that, I'm not really surprised that this that this Philadelphia Knicks series is as competitive as it is. Because they're really two evenly matched teams anyway.
Yeah, and I think Philly's record would have been a lot different if Embiid had got injured.
Yeah,
but you know what? So here's the pushback on that though. Yes, they probably would have had a better record, but I don't think Maxey would have had as much confidence to run the team as he does now, because when Embiid was out, it was a lot of responsibility put on Maxey.
Well,
to get to the point that they needed.
I think with Maxey, to me, he picked up from the beginning of the year. Once Harden left, Maxey picked up. He took the ball and took off running. It was his ball after that. So Embiid was going to do what he was going to do anyway. But Maxey, he took over the mantle from Harden and never looked back. And so when Embiid, went out, he did take that extra step up.
Yeah, he started.
He was already gone. Yeah, he was already gone.
Getting 50-point games.
I know what I want to talk about since we're freestyling and we're on basketball. The USA team.
Man, that junk they put out there.
So explain to me, how is this supposed to work? They voted Embiid in as the center. You see what condition he's in right now, how mangled he is.
He's not. Well,
and then Kawhi Leonard.
If I'm Philly,
these guys have been hurt all season long.
There is no way I'm allowing Embiid to play in the summer.
Yeah,
you better fix that knee, because and then Kawhi.
Yeah, and they're going to play in July
right now.
Yeah, you look at them now, and then they're going to play in July.
So yeah, my biggest issue with the team. Well, that. But again, who you going to get though?
Well, I mean, they could have put Cat or whatever, one of those guys.
Cat coming off injury.
Yeah, well, that's true. But I mean, Embiid looks like he should be in a wheelchair right now.
Yeah.
Now what I read was that also that the naming of the team right now is fluid. That.
Oh yeah.
What I'm saying is that just because somebody's being named right now doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be on the team when they go over, by the time the Olympics start.
Okay.
So the fact that they were named doesn't necessarily mean that without them, the USA team is lost or whatever not, because the names, go in and out, that kind of thing or whatever.
Oh, so, from the Olympic pool that they have.
Yeah. So my point is
but my thing is I can't even see them.
Players. I'm gonna name the best players because one, think about the fact that they want the publicity. They want people to hear that Kawhi is gonna play. Ooh, you don't think it's big news that Embiid is playing for the US and not necessarily playing for Cameroon, where he's from, or that kind of thing. He could probably play for the French national team too, depending on how they doing that because of colonization, which is a whole different historical conversation in itself. But so it's a lot of hype that goes into that. They trying to hype the USA team, trying to hype the games. They want people to watch the Pan Am games and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's part of it too. So just because they name now doesn't mean that they're going to be on the final round.
I think they're more likely to play than me and you right now, D.
Right. Right.
Roddy can still kind of walk a little bit, so I didn't really use
Except up steps. When I walk up steps, my knee pop. So me and Steps, we ain't getting along right about now. I don't know what it is.
I think they're just as likely to play as we are.
So,
Right.
but I hear what you're saying, D. But they had a big old production with Grant Hill going to everybody's house, giving them their jerseys, saying these are the 15 players, and you know they held off to one, and had this pool of 5 players, and went ahead and gave Kawhi their last spot. So
that's exactly my point.
Other than injury, which again I don't see Kawhi playing, I just don't.
Yeah, and Embiid either now.
Playing, yeah,
Embiid looks bad, man.
Right. So, other than injury replacements, like they'll get Cat, but I'm trying to figure out how Tyrese Halliburton is on
Holiday.
How are they on this team? If you got these so-called stars, now I can see Holiday because there are no other guards that play defense on their team. I can see Holiday. But Tyrese Halliburton, again, he's good. I'm not gonna say he's not good. He is good,
but he's not better than some of those other guys. The Kyries and the Harden, and we pretty much know why Kyrie.
You gotta put Brunson out there before him.
Right, yeah, you know why Kyrie didn't get on the team.
Yeah, we know Kyrie.
Yeah,
I still wanted him on there, but
I understand. They weren't gonna let Kyrie represent the U.S., man.
Right, no, they were not gonna do that. But I think one is probably
I think Brunson didn't translate over well last year. Was it last year when he?
Brunson was balling during the Pan Am games though.
I don't think he looked like he didn't translate well.
I think that in many ways, Rodney, you making my point, is they did the whole little thing going around with Grant Hill giving the jerseys away. That's part of the publicity, right? Now, as far as Halliburton is concerned, I think that goes back to what we were talking about before in talking about what Michael Jordan did for the game, is that they're always trying to pub up stars.
Mm-hmm.
So
promote the next new thing.
That they want him to be they see him as a future star in this league. And so they want to, Edwards, so they want to pump them up. Now, Edwards, of course, played very well, the World Championships or whatever that was. But they want to put these guys as the new faces of the NBA, these young guys or whatever. So I think that's part of the reason why I think Halliburton is probably on there too.
They didn't win last year, right? They come in 4th or something.
Yeah, I think they came in 4th.
Yeah, they lost twice the last 2 games.
Yeah.
So last year, I mean, Halliburton was doing pretty well. I mean, in the playoffs, he played well. You know, I'm not trying to take away from his game. He's he is,
and I'm a Halliburton fan. I like as a young player. Yeah,
he's an all-star. However,
there's other players that are better.
If this is supposed to be your team of teams, there were more deserving players for that team than Halliburton.
And then I was watching a podcast that made an interesting point. So, we got Drew Holiday, and, he's a defensive guard. He's with the Celtics, so, hey, I'm going to support Holiday. What happens if Steph Curry goes down?
Mm-hmm.
Your guards are Halliburton and Drew Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
That drastically changes the look of the team.
So what they're counting on is we got 39-year-old LeBron James, we got 36-year-old Kevin Durant, we got 36-year-old Steph Curry, that they're gonna be out here in their just by them being on the court, they're gonna win. But eventually. It didn't look like it was gonna happen tonight because LeBron had one hell of a block shot just a second ago. But eventually, Father Time gonna catch up with LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
And I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about with this Olympics. If Curry goes down, the point guard position is going to be a whole lot different. They don't have anything. They don't have Dame Lillard there, or
Well, see, but if Steph goes down, they can still go get somebody, and then they probably go get Dame.
I mean, they haven't been doing that like during the actual Olympics.
This ain't soccer.
That's not how it works.
During the Olympics, they don't do that. Remember, John Stockton broke his leg.
You go with your team, and that's
it. Go back and get anybody.
You go with your 15, and that's it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
yeah, you go with your 15, and that's it.
That's what I'm saying. If something happens to Curry, the guard situation is going to look kind of bleak.
And you have to think now. Look, Steph, for the first time in a long time, is not playing into May and June. He's done in April, so he'll get a little rest. But LeBron gonna be out in a couple of days also, so
he's gonna get some rest.
And KD, so they may all be getting rest. The ones that's playing, that's gonna still be playing. Those are the younger guys anyway. So maybe the older guys will be okay. But yeah, you're right. If Steph goes down,
the whole team will look different.
The offense is gone.
Yeah, it's gonna look different. I mean, you still got the other scores from the other positions like Edwards, LeBron, KD, but the backcourt scoring is gonna look a whole lot different.
Yeah,
and Drew Holiday is he's a steady player, but he's not a stellar creator.
So here's
Halliburton just is kind of green.
Here's the other issue with your U.S. team, though, dudes. If Embiid can't play, the only big they have is Bam Adebayo.
Yeah,
that's it. And Bam is what, 6'8", 6'9"?
Yeah, but let's 6'9".
When you go against these international teams with you got Joker down there 7'1".
Gobert.
You got Gobert. You got Wembanyama.
Mm-hmm.
You got all these other players that are tall players. The U.S. doesn't have that. U.S. doesn't have that. So, I mean, that's what they need to concentrate on, man. Again, Steph is one of my favorite players. I can't say as much for LeBron. He's probably my least favorite player.
Here we go.
KD, again, one of my favorite players. But they're older players, man. They should not be playing in these Olympics. Mainly
like
because,
you said, I think they're playing because of the draw, and everybody would like to see.
And that's what it is. They're playing more for the.
And truth be told, they still do have the goods. Now, don't get me wrong. They still got the goods.
They have it, but again, you do that for 6 weeks in the summertime, and then season start 4 weeks after the Olympics over. So I you always want to hope for the best. Again, we want to go over there. We want to win.
Why are you rocking like Ray Charles over there?
At the end of the day, you want to win. Yeah.
You rocking like Ray Charles.
At the end of the day, you want to win. So I just don't. So the it used to be after the Dream Team, they put all the greatest stars together, right? Just roll the ball out there and see who wins. Because we had the best talent. Well, the world has gotten closer as far as talent is concerned, and now you just can't throw any NBA players on there and win the game.
But that was the purpose of the Dream Team itself, was to grow basketball. I mean, they really folks can talk all they want. Wasn't nobody really so upset that the USA lost? Yeah, everybody was upset, but I mean, come on, you can't win 539 times in a row and not expect.
We were.
So when the college players was playing, when the professionals couldn't play. So, but one of the things about
when the NBA players couldn't play, the professionals from other countries were playing.
Right. So when they brought the NBA players in, a big part of that was, think about, come on, everybody talked about it, but Bird was at the end of his career.
Yeah.
He could really, he played, he was still Larry Bird, but he didn't practice because his back was so bad.
Yeah,
He jumped about as high as Embiid right now.
Magic was at the end of his career. The only one who was still really
Magic
in their
prime, remember?
The only one who was still really in their prime was Jordan and Barkley and Pippen,
David
and so
Robinson.
David. So
Yeah.
so it was still really the idea to grow the game, to let people really see, because we can really say honestly that team was some of the greatest ever to play.
Mhm.
That everybody on that team, you can't say that about these teams that came later, the Redeem team and all these other cats. But these dudes here were the best to ever play the game at their position. And so that dream team, but because of Michael Jordan, is what really helped the game grow. And why we're sitting here having this conversation about how the NBA now, that why the international players are really able to compete now.
Mhm.
You can't just roll the ball out on the court,
Mhm.
and whoever you put out there for USA basketball is gonna win. You can't do that no more.
Yeah, it's not a given.
And it's because of the dream team.
Oh yeah, I mean David Stern, he had that in mind as well.
Oh yeah.
Of course he wanted to win, but he had the fact that he wanted to grow the game and bring more eyes and viewership to the NBA, which equals more money to the league.
Which at the end of the day, that's all I'm concerned about.
So he did have that foresight as well. So we have to give him credit for that. But when I saw Embiid and Kawhi Leonard, I'm like, ain't no way in the world those guys gonna play that. I mean, Embiid can barely make it up and down the court right now, and Kawhi can't make it up and down the court at all. So,
Well, I guess they figured, all right, it's 4 more months. They'll be ready in 4 months.
Well, they start practicing in July, though, right?
No, that's true. That's true.
In July, and practicing exhibition games in July.
Right.
So,
and what's wrong with Kawhi? Is it the knee again?
It's his knee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That brother hurt, man.
The Lakers jumped out on Denver again, but Denver.
That series. That series. Like I said, it was refreshing for me to see LeBron took the step up to guard the Joker. I really like that. It shows that LeBron is competitive. You know what I'm saying?
No, it shows that nobody else do it.
But see, normally he won't do that.
Still can't do it.
Yeah, normally like when he'll see Davis getting cooked, and then somebody else will get a try, he'll get cooked, and we come from an era where it's like, okay, let me get a shot at this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he did that, but then I was telling Rodney also, even though I was happy to see that, I was also disappointed to see Joker outrun LeBron up and down the court. But then I heard something where they were talking about the like we talked about the altitude of Denver. I was like, okay, well, we'll give LeBron a pass on that, but I don't like to see Joker outrunning LeBron.
That's what Tariq was talking about. Tariq was talking about.
Yeah,
no matter.
I'm like, LeBron is too fast to let Joker outrun him up and down the court.
Right.
But yeah, so we'll give him the altitude. But I think they're still going to smack the Lakers.
All right, so here's the question. I know dude's answer. In the East, D, do you give any of those teams in the East a chance with Boston?
Well, I think that I think if Giannis comes back, Milwaukee, especially if Dame keeps playing the way he's playing. The Knicks, sorry, but no. So I really think that the only team in the East that can really compete is Milwaukee with a healthy Giannis. Other than that, I don't think anybody is beating Boston as long as Jaylen Brown, as we keep talking about, as long as Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum can figure out how to play together in the playoffs. But I don't see anybody beating them getting to the finals.
Dudes, I'm gonna ask you anyway.
My answer is no, but I'll say it. But I think the teams that give them the most problems are we know Miami, but Butler's out, so I think we're good there. Milwaukee gives Boston problems every year, but I think this year we got them, and then Philly. It looks like the Knicks is going to get Philly.
So
yeah, Rodney, can we get a hand? Can you guys knock the Philly out for us?
Hey, we trying to help y'all out.
Y'all should, but
Giannis still got the calf strain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for right now.
And you know that's a touchy injury, you know, sensitive injury. That's that's something you can't rush back from.
Mm-hmm.
It heals when it heals,
Right.
and you don't want to you don't want to risk tearing it totally or completely. So
Right.
So in the West is the West is funny because the best team is not the team with the number one record, in my opinion. Right now, Oklahoma City has the number 1 seed. Denver has the 2 seed. Minnesota has the 3. The Clippers, the 4. Dallas was 5. Phoenix was 6. The Lakers was 7, and New Orleans was 8. So,
well, I never believed in Dallas anyway.
Well, in that first game against the Clippers, Dallas, I mean, they did not show up whatsoever.
Yeah, I think Dallas has the talent to. I mean, they have, to me, in my opinion, they have the talent to at least make it to the conference finals. But their style of play is what's going to knock them out every time.
It's still
they're playing the hero ball. Kyrie and Luka taking turns. You know, your turn, my turn. That's not going to win. Yeah, you're not going to win with that in playoff basketball.
The funny thing is, the last 20 games of the season, they weren't doing that.
Exactly. My point exactly. I told somebody that.
They were moving the ball around. They weren't going your turn, my turn thing.
Yeah, and then they just
in that game against the Clippers, it went back to what they were doing at the beginning of the season before the trades.
But then also maybe they learned a lesson from that.
You would hope so. You would hope so because
this is not going to work.
They really do have the talent, and they got the bigs in the middle to contain the big dudes on the West. And anytime you have Kyrie and Luka, you always have a chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
You really do. But
you got to get those other players involved. They can't have 2 and 3 shots.
You have to.
Yeah,
you went out and got them for a reason.
Mm-hmm. And then I even heard Luka said in the interview, we have to play like we played those last 18 games.
Yes.
So if you know this, why don't you do this?
Yes. Now, and I don't know what's wrong with Phoenix. Well, I do know what's wrong with Phoenix. Phoenix has no bench.
They got no. I was just gonna say they got no
bench, no point guard. Yeah,
and that's the other issue. They don't have anyone to set you up.
Yeah,
I mean, Booker can do it. Yeah, Bill can do it. Yeah, but they're not point guards. That's not the.
They will be playing to their strength.
Yeah, it's not their strength.
Mm-hmm.
But when you made those trades, that's where you put yourself.
But that's also the downfall of positionless basketball.
True.
It is. Mm-hmm.
True. Well, you think everybody can just do it, do it traditionally. Your point guard would do.
He scored 35 points a game. He can handle the ball all the time. No, there's a reason why he scored 35 points a game, because he shoot all the damn time. Now you can go get him the ball.
Well, they look at it like Booker had a few games last year where he had 8 assists. He can be a point guard.
He can be a point guard.
No.
Okay, then you got to on top of him scoring 70 points, he has to also manage everybody else's shots and where they're getting the ball and dictate the flow of the offense, and that's a lot.
That's too much, man. That's too much. So
that's why I wonder about Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think Shane's the point?
Watching them, well, not if you're gonna average 30 points a game. So what I saw from them was I didn't realize how much he handled the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until I watched them play, because honestly, they haven't been on TV very much.
No, they haven't.
And so I did not notice, had no idea how ball dominant he actually was until I watched the game, because they literally don't have a number 1. They don't have a number 2 or a number 3 scorer.
Yeah,
They got Chet down there, and the
They
other
don't
guys
have
are role players.
Who else do they have that if I double team Shea,
They don't.
that okay, well, I know that this person is gonna get the ball and this person can get his shot.
Exactly. Because all those other guys, they step up in the pinch.
Tyler, I think is his last name. He had a good night last night, but I don't think he does that. I don't think he does that every game.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Those other guys, they could step up in a pinch, like Dort.
Right.
You got Chet. He's kind of solid. But Dort, what's it? Jalen Williams.
Jalen Williams. That's their second leading scorer.
Yeah, but those guys, they step up in a pinch. But
Right.
I mean, but can you when it all boils down, can you,
Right.
do you have that confidence in them that they're going to be able to pull through in the playoffs?
Right. I don't see that from Oklahoma City.
So OKC would be good. They'd be damn near impossible to beat if they had a point guard and put Shea to 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like they were when they had Chris Paul that 1 year.
You can still score your 30 points a game. I'm gonna get you the ball. But if you take the ball out of his hand when he doesn't have that responsibility, it makes his game a whole lot better.
Oh, yeah. He can do more of what he does best.
Yeah. I know now, once I get the ball, it's my job to score. Not once I get the ball, I got to figure out, okay, do I score it this time or do I pass it this time? No, once I throw you the ball, do what you do, score me some points.
Right.
You got a singular focus to score the ball.
But like D said, it goes back to the idea of positionless basketball. Where you think, just because somebody it used to be the point guard was the shortest person on the court. Right? If you're short, you're supposed to be the point. Get everybody else set up. Well, when Isaiah Thomas and
Muggsy Bogues and Spud Webb, Nate Tiny Archibald, and
but Isaiah and Iverson. I'm talking about scorers.
And KJ and those guys, Tim Hardaway. Yeah.
When they came in,
Nate Archibald,
look, just because I'm the shortest person don't mean I'm supposed to be the point guard. I can score too. Hell, dudes without a point guard because I like to shoot.
Yeah, you do.
Throw me the ball so I can shoot. So, but in the West,
because he was much better at handling the ball.
Well,
no,
No.
I say tomato.
But anyway, on the West side, who y'all got on the West? Who do you think? Who's the favorite? And I'm pretty sure everybody gonna say Denver.
Yeah, everybody's gonna say Denver, but I think it gets tricky. I think the Clippers can compete. If at full strength, total strength with Kawhi, with all those guys, if they play up to their capabilities, I think the Clippers could compete. They have the talent, they have the size. I mean, they have everything. They got everything.
But they're the Clippers.
But they're the Clippers. They have everything, but they're not somebody else. They're the Clippers.
Always Kawhi hurt.
Kawhi's hurt, and you depended on two people who have been completely undependable in the playoffs.
Yeah,
James Harden and playoff P.
And playoff P.
Well, playoff P's gonna get hurt too. He
gonna get hurt too.
So Kawhi and George is gonna get hurt. And then you're gonna have to depend on Harden and Westbrook, who are Harden definitely undependable. He's definitely undependable when it comes to playoffs.
Right. We know Russ is gonna play hard, but playoff P should be playoff pitching for injury.
So that'd be interesting if everything works out for them. Dallas, like I said, they definitely have the talent to, do well, but it seems like they're falling back into that buddy ball style of play. Your turn, my turn. Then who else we got? Phoenix is done. Phoenix done. Pelicans done. Minnesota, I think
man.
Minnesota's rough, man. Because you got Conley playing his steady in the team. Edwards is gone.
They got a veteran point guard that can shoot. He's just not out there just passing the ball. He can shoot.
They got everything you need.
They got probably one of the best offensive players in the league in Anthony Edwards. They got two big dudes that can get some rebound. And even though I hate when he said, you got Cat out there being the best shooting big man in the league, you know.
And then they got great defense with those guys.
And they got great defense.
Edwards
so
is a dog on defense.
They got the size.
Conley's
they got the size to play against Denver. They got the speed. Well, on the point, they really don't have no speed in the middle because you got them big
lumbering guys
in the middle. But yeah, Minnesota, man, they if I had to say one team that I think can give Denver a run, it would be Minnesota. I just don't believe in OKC right now, man. I just don't.
Yeah, I can't either. I think the youth is up.
Not after seeing them play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in them right now.
But shout out to Shea, he's having an MVP caliber season.
Yeah. I just don't see it. So the Knicks in the East, and we all agree.
What?
And we all agree the Knicks in the East, and
who's we? Everybody that's sitting in that room with you right now.
Right. All right.
Everybody that's wearing your shirt.
Exactly. Now our last couple of topics, all NFL topics. So today, there was a trade in the NFL.
We don't have no music for trades.
The New York Jets traded their starting quarterback from last year, Zach Wilson, to the Denver Broncos. Zach Wilson, the same Zach Wilson that was drafted second 3 years ago, that the Jets traded up to get 3 years ago, is now traded to the Denver Broncos. So it's bad enough he got traded. The worst part is what the Jets received for their number 2 pick 3 years ago. And they got a 6th-round draft pick in exchange for Zach Wilson and a 7th-round draft pick. So they basically gained it was like 20 picks and traded Wilson for a gain of 20 picks in the draft for this year on Thursday. So D, first off, how bad of a draft pick was that for the Jets?
Ryan Leaf like.
Ooh. Jamarcus Russell.
Well, at least Zach Wilson knew the plays.
Yeah, that's true. But Zach Wilson,
I mean, again, the NFL draft is a crapshoot. And there are a lot of players who weren't drafted number 2 that end up not being that good. They get drafted. There's a whole bunch of other 1st-round picks. But again, what we saw happening with Zach Wilson goes back to what we talked about with the NBA and the Michael Jordan effect. But in the NFL, it's the Patrick Mahomes effect. Mm-hmm. Everybody is looking for the next Mahomes. Zach Wilson was throwing the ball behind his back 80 yards
from his knees,
like Sonny Jurgensen.
From his knees. Don't forget that part.
Throwing 70-yard passes from his knees, and they were like, ooh, Patrick Mahomes. Ooh, Patrick Mahomes. And then all of a sudden they get him in there and realize he can't read a defense.
And the thing is, you throwing 70 yards from your knees, that means you down. So you don't need to do 70 yards.
Right. He was NFL illiterate. He couldn't read a defense.
But that the fact that you bypassed several quarterbacks, you know, he was in the draft with Justin Fields, with Mac Jones, who was just as horrible. Who else was drafted in that draft? I think only
you got to
only-
give Mac Jones. You got to give Mac Jones a pass. For 1 year he had a defensive coordinator as his offensive coordinator
and a special teams coach.
So he had what three different. You had same head coach, but you literally had 3 different offensive coordinators. One of which was a defensive coordinator the year before, the last time he was there. So it's like, I got to give him a bit of a pass. He ended up in a bad situation.
Yeah, and you know what? That's when you listen to all the draft nicks, that's what they say. It's not about where you get picked. When you get picked, rather, it's about where you get picked. Because if you look at Mahomes went to the absolute perfect spot for him. He went to a team that already had a starting quarterback that took them to the playoffs. To a head coach that went to a Super Bowl. That was, a veteran head coach, one of the greatest head coaches in the history of the NFL.
Didn't Philly go to 2 Super Bowls?
Was it 2?
Oh no, I'm asking.
I
know they went to the NFC Championship a bunch of times.
Yeah, I know it was a championship. I think what's his name? Not McMahon. What's his name? McNabb. No, not. Yeah, Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
Him and Terrell Owens. That was the 1 year they went to the Super Bowl.
Okay, the only one. Okay.
I don't think they went after that, but he went to a perfect spot. Mac Jones didn't. He had the head coach, and the first year he had a good, experienced offensive coordinator.
Yeah. And they went 11-5,
and went to the playoffs. But then McDaniels left, and then I don't know what the hell Bill Belichick was thinking about. To say, you know what, I don't need an offensive coordinator. I'm gonna have this defensive guy run my offense. That was like and then with the assistance of the special teams coach. That was like the craziest thing ever. And then you tried to backtrack and get another, an actual offensive coordinator this year. Well, you messed him up last year.
Right.
You messed with his mind, told him, he's horrible, taking him in and out of the games.
Right.
So this year he comes back gun shy. His mind messed up. He's like,
right.
Is it David Carr? Which one is it? The one that got drafted by Cleveland. Was it David or Derek? Derek is in New Orleans right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's David Carr. So you got him acting like David Carr, man. He was gunshot. And just a wasted pick. What's his name? Zach Wilson on the other hand. Zach Wilson just is not good. He's just not. His skill set did not translate to the NFL at all. So the Jets, but they did go out and get Aaron.
Well, maybe they can change the rules and he can throw from his knees.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And in other news, in NFL news, on Thursday, the NFL draft is here in the Detroit, Michigan. You said what?
I said Rodney gonna watch the whole entire draft.
The whole entire thing.
In its entirety.
The whole entire thing. That's, of course, on Thursday, I have to go down, to the draft because, it's here in Detroit. So I gotta go. I got my ticket. I gotta go. So one person that won't be at the draft. Push the button. There we go. Jim Irsay, the Colts owner, he's going to miss the draft this year because of some recurring, we're going to call it medical conditions that he has that
are associated with drug use.
Yeah. He can't stay off the substances.
Weed.
I don't even. His is way harder than weed. It's way harder than weed. So, but he's in rehab right now, so he will be missing the draft. And it's one of those things where if it was a player that had the issues that RECE has would have no association to the NFL. But because the brother got money and the NFL owners are they're always, we're not going to say anything because if we say something about his skeletons, you might try to come look at ours too.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll put up with all of his skeletons. So we're doing the NFL real quick. Another bit of NFL news.
I mean, it's really not much to talk about except the draft, really, at this point.
Yeah. But Matty Ice, man, Matty Ice is retiring. So, Dorian, is the NFL Hall of Fame next for Matty Ice?
Okay. How can I put this? Yes, but it shouldn't be.
Okay.
Now, hopefully, the NFL will stick to their stringent rules with the players and the way that they do things and that kind of thing. But he sure is definitely not a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's for sure. Or nor a second ballot, nor a third ballot Hall of Famer.
Wow.
I think one, that the NFL game has changed so much, particularly when it comes to passing, that the yardage that he has to say that it was greater than those before it is not really saying much.
Okay.
You know, Terry Bradshaw didn't have many passing yards. Hell, he had Franco Harris, who retired as the all-time leading rusher.
Mm-hmm.
Troy Aikman didn't have that many passing yards either. Why? Because he had the all-time leading rusher.
Yeah, Emmett.
So I think that once you've gotten to the point where you're only associating being quarterback with winning, then he only went to one Super Bowl,
and they lost,
and they lost big time. They gave up a 28-point lead, a 28-3 lead. So no, I don't see him as a Hall of Famer.
And I feel you. And again, that's why I don't like just looking at stats by themselves, because if you look at his stats, he's 7th all time in passing with 62,792 yards. He has 381 touchdown passes, a career 66% completion percentage, and a career passer rating of 93.6. So if you look at just stats, he does have one NFL MVP award, which goes a long way. So if you just look at stats, based off his stats, yeah, he's deserving of being in the Hall of Fame. And again, my view of the Hall of Fames for all of them is either you are a Hall of Famer or you're not.
But think about this though. When it's particularly when we start talking about the fact that he won an MVP. Now, the MVP is only a quarterback's award.
Yep.
True.
How often does anybody else win the MVP? Nobody. They don't even discuss.
The last one was Peterson, wasn't it?
I think so, but they don't even discuss anybody for NFL MVP other than quarterbacks. So to say that he's an NFL MVP means he was the best quarterback for 1 year. That's basically what that says. You were the best quarterback for 1 year. The year you went to the Super Bowl, you had a good year. Great. You had one good year. So now we put people in the NFL, I'm sorry, in the Hall of Fame for having that one good year.
So he played for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years. He played 15 years in the league. He only threw 30 touchdowns twice. And that was 16 and 18. Those are the only 2 years he had 30 touchdowns. What he did do, I mean, he averaged about 4,500 yards a year, which is great.
Not if he on your fantasy team.
And that's when he sucked on fantasy team.
Oh, trust me, because I had him a couple of times on my fantasy team where I thought he was going to have a good year, and all he did was have a bunch of yards.
He had a bunch of yards, but his biggest issue was he has a lot of interceptions. Most of his years he had double-figure interceptions, which is not good.
Well, yeah, when you only throw 30 touchdowns for 1 year or 2
30 touchdowns and 23 interceptions. So yeah, it's again, if I'm only looking at stats, he gets in the hall based off of stats. However, when you do the eye test, do I think he's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever? No, not even close.
Well, this is what I think about that. If you mention, when you start listing greatest quarterbacks, where does he fall on that list?
Oh, it's a long time before I get to Matt Ryan.
Exactly. So again, what we started to do is we started to make the Hall of Fame the Hall of Average.
Mm-hmm.
So
someone with similar stats, but does have a Super Bowl ring, is Matthew Stafford. If he plays another 3 years, he'll be 38 years old. Do you think, and just give the same stats that he has right now, he'll be up there in the 70,000 yard range also. With his one Super Bowl ring, but no MVPs, when you think of Matt Stafford, do you think of one of the best quarterbacks ever?
No.
So he's not worthy of the NFL also. I mean, the Hall of Fame also, right?
No.
Okay. We agree. I completely agree. Like I said, my thing is, for all the Hall of Fames, when I think about you, were you one of the greatest? Yes, you're a Hall of Famer. If it's, well, for 5 years he was great. Nah, either you were or you were not. Right. So, and Mike, I agree with you. He will get in the Hall. I do know. He's going to get in there basically because he's the 7th all-time leading passer. But again, when I think of Matt Ryan, I don't think of greatest quarterback ever.
No.
All right. And then brings us to our last topic. Oh yeah, man. That time be getting the time, bro. Brings us to our last topic, D. And that is, we were talking about this before we started recording tonight, which brought us to our reason for just getting on and just talking. And that is, where are the black former player football announcers? The thing is, Dorian made a point.
Be specific about who we're talking about.
Yeah. Dorian made a point prior to us going on tonight about why is it, and it started off with Matt Ryan. How Matt Ryan is went right from playing being quarterback for the Colts to being in the booth for one of the networks as a commentator. And the point was also made that most of the good retired quarterbacks go right into the booth. But and then we said, it's not just the quarterback. It's also the white tight ends, the white cornerbacks. Those are the ones that are getting the jobs. But where are the black former football players that are commentators for NFL
for the games?
For the games.
For the actual games that are actually in the booth, not on the sideline.
Exactly.
roving reporter.
But in the booth.
And we've yet to figure out the name of one other black player. They come right off the field into the booth. We haven't figured it out yet. So, is it an issue, D? Is it something we need a Rooney Rule for?
Well, I mean, you're never going to be able to Rooney Rule for that because those are the networks. And the networks choose who they want. But I think it's still kind of the same thing as, the idea that, just in the same way that the white quarterbacks were always, the quarterbacks were always white because that was considered to be the smartest profession, the smartest position and so on and so forth. So now you end up with the same people, these white former quarterbacks or white former players, who now become the talking heads, who become, you end up with maybe a Daryl Moose Johnston, who was a fullback, but still white former players. I can't think of any black former players. Like I said, I don't think Booger was a sideline reporter. I don't think they put him in the booth for Monday Night Football.
He was there that 1 year, but it took him a while to get there.
You've had Tony Dungy, who was a coach. But I still can't think of one black former player that's been, the analyst in the booth during the games.
Yeah, Tony Romo, that went right from the field to the booth. You got Troy Aikman, that went right from the field to the booth. You got
Roger Staubach.
You
go way back.
You got Tom Brady, who is going to be the highest paid sports commentator in history,
and nobody's ever heard him do a game.
They ain't heard him speak because he never spoke when he did his interviews. So, where are the like I said, we talked about RG3, Robert Griffin III, with the ESPN. He had to work his way up to start being on the network. He was doing college, and then now he's doing a little bit of the pro stuff, but he's not in the booth.
Right.
He's not calling the games on a full-time basis. He might get a game here and there, but that's not something he's doing. And didn't nobody get Donovan McNabb and bring him in there?
Right.
They didn't go. Well, folks didn't really like Mike Vick, so that's a bad example.
Oh, well, yeah, that's after the whole dog thing.
Yeah, that's stupid, but that's a bad example. But any of the black quarterbacks that retired, stopped playing or whatever.
And we're also talking about national broadcast too, not necessarily talking about how
local
on the local broadcast. We're talking about honestly the national broadcast, the national networks.
Mm-hmm. So where are the brothers, man? What we need to do to get a brother in the booth?
Can we get a brother, please?
Can we get a brother in the booth? So, our that would be something. Your boy Jontay would have a whole paper written on about the conspiracies of why the brother's not in the booth. So we're gonna have to talk to him about that one day. See what he say. So anyway, any other topics y'all want to talk about, bro?
Let's talk about what you said about Dorian stop eating the Impossible Burger and start eating that beef.
You need to eat more beef.
And on that note, play my theme music.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a blast as always. We love just getting on here, just talking about sports, talking about each other, just enjoying the time. We hope everything, we said you agree with. We know some of the stuff you ain't gonna agree with, but oh well, it is what it is. But what we do want you to do is make sure that you press that like button, make sure you press that follow button, make sure you press that notification button, and please, please, please send dudes the money
I'm still looking. I'm still looking for black NFL on air game talent. It's a
So
hard.
Dory will still be looking for this black talent by the time we get back here next
By
week.
next episode.
So we gonna let him do that. We hope.
I need to give a shout out, right?
Oh, shout out, dudes!
Shout out. Happy birthday to my son, Isaiah.
Zeke,
Happy birthday to my grandson, Aiden.
And of course, we gotta say happy birthday to the greatest mother of all, my mother, Barbara Ann Pearson.
Bob.
Yeah, it's my grandma Sadie's birthday too.
Sadie, don't you know we love you, Sadie? Shout outs.
Oh, and then Arby's next. Well, we'll probably do another one by the time Arby hits.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm about to have another one probably this week.
I thought you was about to say something about Arby's.
Yeah.
That's right, dude's about to have another.
So all my grandkids, all of them be during this week.
What about 12?
What I'm going on 4 now.
Woo. Boy.
Oh,
dude, you get up there.
Hey, knock him out.
Dude's got him, man. Dude's got him.
That's them.
Woo. Well,
yeah.
Let me we hope.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are I think that's what he's gonna say. Something
Yes,
that.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. That is exactly what I was gonna say.
That effect.
So hey y'all, we have fun as always. We thank you for joining us. On behalf of DOOZE, the Almighty, the Wonder Mouse, me, Rod D, we hope you enjoyed what we had to say tonight. But if you didn't,
Kiss it.
and guess what, y'all? We out.
Don't blame it on sunshine. Don't blame it on moonlight. Don't blame it on good times. Blame it on the boogie. Don't blame it on sunshine. Sunshine. Moonlight. Boogie's got me in a super trance. Sunshine. Moonlight. Yeah. Good times. Boogie. You just got the sunshine, yeah, moonlight, good times,
To everybody needs boogie, to all my peeps here in Lawton, and back on to the illy and everywhere. Let's do it, y'all. Whether evading the smoke or debating with folk, they creating the quotes that's making us woke. When the sports world is sleepy on the daily or the weekly, get it, Mouse One, Rod D, Kid, Deuce, and Geechee. From hardwood to diamond, QD to rhyming, on the up or declining, and all out shining, even on the ice grinding. A world record timing when the athlete or team moment really is defining. If the stats deal or facts on deals, these cats chat real about the track and field, plus the ring, rink, and pool. All courts and courses, from unsigned players to stars with endorsements who only got deep. Teams that stop streets, who get in the dust and who own the hot seat for the movies and the oldies. Yo, they got the goodies, wanna know what's going on, rock will blame it on the boogie. Yep, 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 blame it on the boogie. Click that link and subscribe. That's what it is. God bless. Love.